You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WLCX Daily News Roundup for the Eagle 1490 AM in La Crosse.
For 1490 WLCX, I'm Jimmy Kuska. There are several road construction projects this week in La Crosse County. A closure is in place at County Highway WX on the south end near County Highway OT. On Wednesday, County Highway M will be closed east of Highway 14 and Valley View Road for a culvert replacement. On Thursday, County Highway PI will be closed near Office Road, also to replace a culvert. Also this week, resurfacing began on Highway 16 from Highway 157 by the mall all the way down to La Crosse Street. That project will last through the summer. The closure of a UPS facility in Holman will mean dozens of people will be laid off. According to a letter filed with the Department of Workforce Development, 42 total employees will be affected, including 18 full-time and 24 part-time workers. The facility in Holman will be permanently closed on June 10th. UPS said that they will offer workers a job in other facilities to help reduce the job losses. Last month, UPS announced it would be closing around 200 facilities in the U.S. as it shifts to automated package hubs. U.S. Cellular is planning to lay off thousands of employees across the country, impacting workers here in Wisconsin. The company is being acquired by T-Mobile. According to a filing with state governments notifying them of the mass layoff, workers will be let go beginning June 2nd. The company plans to offer most of the affected workers similar jobs with T-Mobile. In Wisconsin, 44 locations are impacted, mostly retail stores, as well as the company's engineering hub in Brookfield. About 4,100 workers are affected nationally. State Senator Brad Pfaff and Assembly Representative Steve Doyle are holding a state budget listening session this week. In a joint statement, the two Democratic members of the state legislature said that they encourage people to share their thoughts and attend the sessions to learn about the issues affecting them. The joint state budget listening session will happen Friday at 3:30 p.m. in the Onalaska Public Library. The legislature's Joint Finance Committee is holding listening sessions later this month in northern Wisconsin. In La Crosse City government, today's meetings include the City Administrator Work Group and Neighborhood Revitalization Committee, as well as the Ethics Board and City Housing Authority. Then on Thursday, the La Crosse Common Council will have its regular meeting to swear in newly elected members following last week's spring election as part of a long agenda filled with bid contracts, rezoning approvals, and other resolutions. It'll be the final Common Council meeting with outgoing Mayor Mitch Reynolds presiding. This week is Severe Weather Awareness Week, and the statewide tornado drill is tomorrow. With more, here's Civic Media meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
Wisconsin averages about 23 tornadoes every year, and 45 of them tore through our state last year. This made it the third most active season ever, and severe weather season is about to spark. On Thursday at 1:45 p.m. and 6:45, sirens will sound. Practice the plan, and while you're at it, gather an emergency bag together too.
According to our latest National Weather Service forecast, no severe weather is expected this week for La Crosse. The impact of Trump administration tariffs are starting to be felt here in Wisconsin. With more, here's Civic Media's Lisa Hale.
Prices on items you buy from other countries are expected to jump after extra tariffs go into effect Wednesday. Here's inclusive growth economist Emily Wee.
You take something like, say a car seat that costs $50 now, that's going to cost $100. You take something like an item of clothing and you've doubled the price for that. So it's going to be a lot of things.
The low estimate impact on your budget is more than $3,800 a year in additional spending.
The impact of $3,800 a year on a family budget is equivalent to a 2.3% increase in inflation. Senator Ron Johnson is concerned about some of the impacts of the Trump administration's tariffs. With more, here's Civic Media's Melissa Kay.
In interviews with The Hill and NPR, the Wisconsin Republican said the tariffs are reasonably high risk and could make Wisconsin manufacturers less competitive when they try to export. Wisconsin employs 19% of its workforce in manufacturing, twice the national average. Senator Johnson said he also wants constituents to keep him totally informed about how tariffs are affecting them.
Tariff impacts are being felt by global stock markets today. A utility assistance program faces an uncertain future after the federal government fired all of the workers from the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program last week. The program, which provides supports to low-income families, particularly in winter months, served tens of thousands of Wisconsin households, including over 10,000 in the Coulee region, according to federal data. The firings come as the utility disconnection moratorium ends on April 15th, and average home heating costs are expected to rise over 10 to 15% this year. Food insecurity was top of mind for State Senator Brad Pfaff and Assembly Representative Jill Billings as they visited a food pantry in La Crosse on Monday. The topic of the visit was federal cuts to food assistance programs and aid for farmers, which is having an impact locally. The Way for Food Pantry says they will only receive half of the food they normally get this month, despite having the highest food demand they've seen in the past 10 years. Over a third of La Crosse households are experiencing food insecurity, according to Wafer. A mental health crisis facility that was set to open on May 1st in La Crosse is being postponed due to federal budget cuts. According to Tellurian Behavioral Health, the Trump administration's cuts to health services has removed the funding needed to open the facility. The new facility would have given people experiencing a mental health crisis a new option for treatment. Those people will now continue to go to hospitals or jail for treatment, according to an executive at Tellurian. The current crisis facility in La Crosse, called CARE, will stay open. Senator Tammy Baldwin has introduced legislation that would raise taxes on people earning over $1 million per year. With more, here's Civic Media's Joanne Krulotz.
The Paying a Fair Share Act would ensure that the highest earning Americans pay at least a 30% effective tax rate. The bill would apply only to taxpayers with income over $1 million and would preserve the incentive for charitable giving. The Paying a Fair Share Act is expected to raise nearly $120 billion in revenue over 10 years.
The top earners in the U.S. currently pay a tax rate of 23.5%. Senator Ron Johnson has reintroduced legislation that would remove the gray wolf from the endangered and threatened species list. The gray wolf was added to the list after a federal court ruling in 2022. Johnson argues that state wildlife agencies, not the federal government, should manage gray wolf populations. House Representative Tom Tiffany first introduced the measure back in January. In Wisconsin, a 2012 state law requires an annual gray wolf hunt in each year that the species is not a federal endangered species. This week is Severe Weather Awareness Week and also the statewide tornado drill. With more, here's Civic Media meteorologist Brittany Merlot.
The annual statewide tornado drills will happen on Thursday, April 10th. Sirens will sound at 1:45 and 6:45. And this is when you should pretend it's real. Practice your plan and take shelter. Go to the lowest level, most interior room, putting as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Avoid windows and look for things that you can cover yourself with, like pillows or couch cushions. The main threat is debris.
According to our latest National Weather Service forecast, no severe weather is expected this week for La Crosse. Today brings a chance of scattered showers with the chances of some light rain continuing into tomorrow. Temperatures will be right around normal for this time of year with highs in the 50s and overnight lows in the 30s. The skies clear out Friday and Saturday as highs get to around 60 degrees before a big warm-up Sunday and Monday when the highs across the Coulee region will be right around 70 degrees. Another chance of light rain arrives this weekend. We'll have more details in our Civic Media forecast. Download the free Civic Media app now at civicmedia.us/app. For $14.90 WLCX, I'm Jimmy Kuska.
The Bucks win again. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks beat the Timberwolves 110-103. Despite being down 24 points in the fourth quarter, the fans stayed and cheered the team to a win at Fiserv Forum. Doc Rivers.
It was huge, They could have left. I mean, really, the way the game was going, and they hung in there with us, and then they could smell the blood in the water as well. This is why you love home games.
Baseball, top of the seventh inning, Brewers up 4-1. Bryce Terang at the plate on FanDuel, Wisconsin.
Fly ball, right center. Doyle is back. He is looking, and it's gone for Terang. Home run number 3, and that hitting streak stays alive. 11 games now for Bryce.
The Brewers beat the Rockies 7-1. The 25-year-old Terang's home run sailing 444 feet, the longest of his career.
Dude, I'm getting older. That's just how it is. I'm starting to get the man strength.
That's Bryce Terang with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Want to feel old? Eminem is a grandfather. The rapper's daughter, Haley Jade Scott, announced on Instagram that she gave birth to a son named Elliot. And to honor her famous father, the baby now shares a middle name with his grandfather. No, it's not Elliot Eminem, it's Elliot Marshall. Eminem's real name is Marshall Mathers. That might put a little pressure on the boy to come up with some sick beats. The Yellowstone series is about to give birth to a new spin-off. With the show's popular 1923 prequel starring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren now concluded after its season 2 finale last week, the franchise is launching a new prequel. Plot lines for 1944 are being kept under wraps for the moment, but some sources say the show will explore how World War II affects the Duttons. Star of 1923 Brandon Sklenar takes over Dutton Ranch at the end of 1923 and says he is open to appearing in 1944. Russell Brand is already in trouble for sexual assault charges, but things are about to get worse. Warner Brothers Studios has agreed to turn over footage and outtakes from the set of Arthur in 2011. The studio has made it clear where they stand after being sued along with Brand in 2023 by an extra from the film who said the actor exposed himself to multiple people and assaulted her. What a guy. HBO is giddy over the ratings for the season finale of White Lotus Season 3. The network says 6.2 million viewers tuned in and were treated to a higher body count than we've seen in previous seasons of the show. That shattered the past record for viewers of the show, which was the previous week's 4.8 million viewers. I think it's time for me to check out Season 3. What better game than Monopoly to create a bidding war? There was a competition by studios over a competition series based on the board game, and Netflix is the winner. Variety reports the show is being described as a large-scale social experiment contest that will force contestants to form alliances and betray their competitors. They must walk the line between capitalism and chaos in a cutthroat race to own it all. I think I hate it already. Monopoly debuted in 1935, courtesy of Parker Brothers, and has since sold about 275 million copies worldwide. First, it was people dancing and singing while watching Wicked in theaters that annoyed theatergoers. Now, it's teenage boys who are clapping and cheering during the record-breaking Minecraft movie. In some ways, this is worse than Wicked, because parents who take their kids have to witness this after probably not wanting to set foot in a theater to see Minecraft in the first place. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It is going to be mostly cloudy today with a few scattered showers possible at times, especially this afternoon. Our high in the low to mid-50s. Tonight, scattered showers will drop down to the mid-30s. There may be a flurry mixed in at some point. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers with a high near 50. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 40.
That's your WLCX Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at lacrosseeagle.com. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.